Good evening and welcome to Off the Line Racing. We are back for round two of Division 1. And if you joined us yesterday, it was a mighty fine Las Vegas Grand Prix. Division 1 has got quite a time on its hands to top the action that we saw yesterday as we head over to the sunny, well, not so sunny, the blackened out midnight Las Vegas as we go over 6.120 kilometers long, 17 turns and 2 DRS zones. That back straight, massive in terms of strategy. Again, yesterday played a crucial part in the victory in the end, but we get ourselves over now for Division 1 to get going. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me in the booth, it's the one and only Ryan Hurren. How are we doing, my friend?
Good. Looking forward to this one. Vegas, I think, is an underappreciated track, but it's always been one of my favourites. And I've always had a bit of a soft spot for it. It's where I got my first ever league race win. And many more since then. So, yeah, definitely a special one for me.
Well, holds great sentiment for you then. Me personally, I've had some good races here. I personally quite like driving around that Sector 2 section. The slow speed corners, I feel a bit more comfortable there. But drivers of this caliber will feel better through those fast hand corners. That's where they can really maximise the car and find the extra time needed. We're about to get ready to go into 18 minutes of qualifying. Now, round 1 in Bahrain for Division 1 as well was an absolute banger. Lots of action. Does Division 1 have what it takes to top that as well? But let's not forget, yesterday, Division 2 did very well as well. So if you want to see some more racing action, that will also be on the YouTube. You can catch up on that one. But for now, got 18 minutes of qualifying, and we're about to get ourselves trackside. Trackside, here we go. Drivers coming out of the pits, coming down pit lane already. Kick Salva to lead the charge, that being Cooper Fan, the first driver looking to set a timed lap.
Again, it was Cooper fan last week as well. It was Cooper fan in Monza. He seems to be always wanting to get out there quite early. And I think what we will see at this circuit, though, is a lot of strategy when it comes to both qualifying and also the race itself, especially regarding that big ass straight down the Las Vegas Strip. It's, I think, what caused a lot of controversy around this circuit. But yeah, I think it would certainly spice things up today.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Could see some big crashes.
I've just been informed we are waiting on 3 drivers to still make it in the middle of quali or during the lobby restart. So we will be running with 18 drivers, hopefully all things go well. 15 drivers so far to qualify here. They'll be looking for those positions. But those that are late in to join will fall in the order accordingly down at the bottom of the grid if they have not qualified. On board of Cooper fan still. The back straight, as we mentioned, scene of controversy, like you say, Ryan. Absolutely. In F1 24, that slipstream and the overspeed you could get was massive. Absolutely huge. Just the way your car would slice down the back end of any sort of car. You was in slipstream. You just got a massive advantage over everybody with DRS as well. It was unreal, unnatural. In this game, it's a lot more manageable. It's not as powerful. The DRS is still there, but it's not as strong as it was in 24. So you're less likely to see the overtakes that you would have in 24, but you're going to see a lot harder, closer, aggressive racing around this circuit in 25.
Definitely. But still, of course, the straight is something to look out for. One area of the track that I have noticed so far in this game causing a lot of incident is turn 7, the start of that janky chicane in the middle sector. People going for moves down the inside and then just clattering into the car on the outside because of just how heavy a braking zone it is. It's a very tricky one as well because you're constantly turning left. As we've got Racing Bulls off in the, I think one of the escape roads. I think it's Baron who's off there. Just seen him go past, just seen Cooper go past as well as he's on his lap, but I wonder what's happened to Baron.
Yeah, a bit of a moment there. Probably just couldn't get the braking down, but we've been on board with Cooper this entire lap. He's setting the benchmark here of all the drivers, being the first driver to come down to that checkered flag line. He's coming up to that final DRS zone now. Yesterday we saw DRS games play a key factor here, but also a bit of a strategic boo-boo from one of the drivers. He tried to get the run out of 12 to be a little bit behind the driver, but almost side by side at the detection point. But what that enabled Tico to do was to lift, therefore allowing Stelcho to pull ahead. He said in the interview afterwards that he lifted. So Stelshaw pulled ahead, lost DRS, which was crucial for Tico to claw back through. And there is a 31 flat almost from Cooper Fan. Your current benchmark time, there's a 30.9, which was Division 2 qualifying time yesterday. Already been beaten by Boss Moss and Glitch 10 in the 30.5s, being the fastest lap. Lawrence 30.7, Julian Prince 31.6, Jonesy 31.3. More drivers coming powering down towards the line. Next will be Luke as he comes around the final turn there across the line, 31.4. What about Hacko? What can he do? He powers down towards the line. It's a 31.7. There goes Max Law as it's 31 flat. So, very, very close to Division 2 pole time already. Still more times to come to the table. On board with Hilly now, as he's going to be the last driver to come through. Barron still on his outlap after his little bit of a mishap. Dives into the pit's potential damage. Hilly comes across the line for a 31.3. Not bad so far from all the drivers, I've got to say. Only around about 1.2 seconds split from the back of the grid. But Hacko, I feel, he's got some more pace in that lap. Absolutely.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed as well, which is quite big, is that our championship leader is not racing today. Marius Anderson not in attendance. So definitely time. I mean, who's second in the championship? Ratty at the minute, I think, is second.
Yeah, it was a 1-2 finish from McLaren.
Yeah, Ratty, Glitch Ken, Lawrence, basically the top. Well, everybody really is going to be gaining on the championship leader, and I think it's very likely impossible for him to retain the championship lead.
Somebody I will say watch out for is Jordan Ghost. Yeah, Ghost. Watch out for the Hassler. Now, last week we did see him claw back a little bit later on towards the end of the stint, although I think I've just said that and he's dropped it, or he's stopped in an awkward position. That's not Jordan.
Lawrence.
That's Lawrence, sorry. Lawrence is in an awkward position.
Yeah, he's locked the rears going into turn 14.
He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing.
He's stuck in second. Interesting.
That was an outlap. So if they were fresh tyres, he's destroyed them.
Yeah, I think he's probably locked the rears going into turn 14. It is the heaviest braking zone, I think, in F1. So
it is aggressive, I've got to say, but I think Monaco Hairpin is probably the harshest. I don't know actually, because you're not coming down as fast, are you? But you are on the brakes very aggressively.
Hang on.
I don't know, because I can sort of flick here, coming around turn 12. I can sort of flick the car into it with about, I don't know, I don't 100% brakes, I know that. I don't think I go above 60% pressure. So it's harsh. It is very, very harsh in a way. It's very fast as well. Comes at you very quickly and aggressively, and you've got to be careful on the entry because of that outside wall. Of course, that can just clip you, and it sort of sticks out. So you've got runoff. You have got runoff to go straight on. Cooper goes 4/10 faster, just shy of glitch 10. 100 separating those two.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, that's 18 milliseconds overall there, and I think what is the most difficult about that final chicane is the outside wall. I think, as you mentioned, on the exit of turn 16, we obviously saw Colapinto smash into that in the 2024 Las Vegas Grand Prix. I've not seen many incidents there in sim or league racing, sorry, but yeah, definitely one to look out for, especially if cars are going, 3 wide into turn 14.
It's Barron.
It's just going to be calamity. Ooh.
Right, so Barron had a moment. Disastrous first lap. Gone back in. 10 minutes to go left for qualifying. Started his second run. Still no time on the table. But he is coming around turn number 4 now. Flat to the floor. Up towards turn 5. Turn 5, you've got to be cautious here on the braking. Because if you look, it's slightly raised on the embanking. So you're harsh on the power. But then you come back down a little bit more. And it's easy to lock up and just slide, catch that understeer, and clip that wall. These walls are coming at you very, very quickly, and it's very tight here in Sector 2. You get some runoff here as you come around 7 and 8, but as you come back around turn number 9, that wall right there at you again. There you see Byron with a little bit of a wobble.
I think I've realised what he did then on his outlap to end up in that runoff. I think he just dropped the rear on the entry to turn 9. Looking at how he took that corner, but exit at turn 12 as well. That's a big one to look out for. because of the wall that juts out on the right-hand side. Seen many a car smack into that.
Yeah.
But down the, I think it's the second longest straight in F1.
Yes, I believe so.
But heavy braking, as we mentioned, just nicking the curb on the inside left, fully riding the one at the apex of 15, and now foot flat to the floor. And he'll be taking as much of this curb on the inside as he can to minimize your lap time. And it's a
32.
132.2.
Oh, damn.
1.7 off of the provisional pole time.
That
Which,
is not looking good for Baron, no, man. That's bad.
I mean, we
don't
could be
know.
a little bit nicer about it, but
Oh no, I've got to say, I've got to be honest with it. Like he needs to really pull some
ooh,
time out there. He's just gonna get gapped, I think, if he's not got any more pace in the bucket. I don't know if he had a moment. He looked a bit squirrely out of 16, but I don't know. I don't know. For Baron, he needs to really pull back some time though, at least half a second. Get a bit closer. Glitch with the new pole time, 30.4, looking good for pole position. Here is the Ferrari driver.
ooh, Hako just hit the wall on the exit of 12, as I mentioned. Just grazed it though, managed to keep going. Ghost, as you mentioned, want to watch up to P5 here.
Yeah, I
And
expect
now,
something to come back from Goss. He's been
oh,
playing with setups, and came to a realization today. So maybe there's some more pace to come his way.
Aiden Evans now. Up to the line in the Racing Bulls, up to P7, 130.9. 60 milliseconds clear of Max Law, who is the next car up to the... No, he's not.
Ratty.
Ratty.
Oh, there it is! I was on board with that.
Ooh!
I saw that coming a mile off. He was just out of Sector 1. 2.5 tenths up, I think, coming out of Sector 1, or maybe coming out of Sector 2. So as he's come down that back straight, he's gained a massive time, like another 3 tenths in that final sector. That was a beautiful lap.
Indeed, enough to go just under a 10th clear at the front. And I think it's an Alpine that's about to finish. Oh no, Hilly's gone up to 8th in all that as well. So a good lap there for Hilly. And who's actually next? Is it...
I don't know if Banana started a lap.
Says...
The rear wing is open. The battery is deployed. So I think Banana's on a lap now. He started one. I'll stay on board with a previous champion here in Off the Line Racing. One of the previous seasons he's taken constructors, and I believe he took... I think it was Banana and Gacha. I think he did take the Drivers' Championship. So he is a Season 3 champion, I believe. Coming back for Season 4 on a new game, and a little bit off the pace margin here. Was one of the fastest drivers, but now he's just struggling a little bit. Coming through down towards turn 12, he's about to finish his Sector 2, so we'll see what sort of improvement is to come the way, if there is an improvement on the way for Banana. 2 tenths so far, it's good enough to put him up there contending with P5 potentially. It's all about Sector 3 now. We saw Ratty pull a few tenths out of Sector 3, so that just goes to show you the perfect line gains time.
Yeah, it is all about the line around this circuit. I mean, it is for every circuit, really. I sound really dumb saying that now. But we have got a few other cars coming up to the line. I think Max Law is just finishing as well, just ahead of Banana, goes up to 7th. So where can Banana play? Oh, abandons the lap into the pit lane.
It was still 2 tenths round about, I think, as he's hit that safety car line. I think he can pull more out. I don't think he's happy with that. I think he's expecting a little bit more time. So he has abandoned lap. Cooper Fan, he's a 10th up, coming out of the final chicane. Is this what's going to happen there, though? He was a 10th up going into chicane. Has he gained time on the exit? I haven't seen it yet, but he's flat to the floor, powering down towards the line. Comes around 17, hits it. He's improved by a 10th, but he stays in P4. Jay Goss is half a second off that. So has anybody else got the time to challenge these front 4 drivers? These front 4 are looking like they may just run away with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5 tenths, closer to 4 tenths clear of the rest of the field at the minute. I mean, to be fair, last race we saw Hako break into the top 4 just because of strategy. So I wonder if strategy is going to play a big part in this race. I don't know how crucial it was last night, of course. But yeah, F125, even if you qualify poorly, strategy is what can get you back up in the running.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially on a track like this. I mean, we didn't so much see DRS trains yesterday, so to go from Division 2 pace, not so many trains, but in Division 1, maybe, just maybe, we're going to get a bit of a train going down. Maybe that's strategic, tactical, drivers opting to do that, being one of the favoured moves. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But like I say, I watched the race yesterday. I was in there, obviously, as the commentator, so I know what happened for Division 2. Now, with a faster tier, as Luke goes just under 3/10 quicker, but not enough to get into the top 10 yet. I don't know. Division 1 pole time has already been beaten, and there's a couple of drivers levelling the Division 2 pole time. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's looking close, though. Look at how many drivers are in a 30.9. There's 5 drivers in a 30.9.
Yeah. 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I not count?
Oh yeah, 5. No, I can't count. I can't count. Wait, is it? Wait. Ghost, Boss, Max, Aiden, Haley. Yeah, 5.
Is that Ryan? Is that a Ryan I hear on comms? It is indeed a Ryan you hear on the comms.
Yes. Hello, Gopher. Funny seeing you here.
Alright, guys.
Glitch 10.
He's got his pen
Hen
towards the line.
is currently 800ths down on the provisional. Oh. Okay.
Naughty boy. That's rule breaking. I caught somebody doing it yesterday, and I caught somebody else doing it again today.
He's not coming back out again. He's not got enough time.
Oh, no. All right. Who's to lead the way? That's Kick Salver. Is that Cooper fan? It is not. But Cooper is out to this
Baron. Baron will be the next car over the line after his tumultuous tale last week and so far in quali. Let's see if he can somewhat redeem himself with a better lap.
Hey, that's good. This channel randomly appeared on my Twitch homepage. Beautiful. OTLR on the map. Let's go. Love it. Love to see it. Making moves. And here comes Baron, down out of 17 towards the line. What sort of line is he taking? Really running the track limits there. Half a second almost improvement, but stays exactly where he is. That's unfortunate for Baron, but certainly getting that half a second that I was asking for. Well done. GG.
Yeah, he's just what's that? 24 milliseconds off of matching Hako. So if he gained another 25 milliseconds, would have gained a position at least temporarily. But who's actually the first car over the line? I think it's the Sauber duo. Or, no, they've backed off. So that means...
Banana, I think.
Is... Oh, Baron straight lined the wall.
Are you taking the mick?
No.
Is it...
He's just straight... He's straight lined it into the turn 5 escape road.
Does it need drivers on a Wednesday? Well, it depends on your pace. If you are quick enough, you will get in Division 1, which is on a Wednesday. If not, you'll be Division 2, which is a Tuesday. But you are welcome to sign up. Sign-ups are still open.
Oh!
I will show you what happens on the sign-ups. Who's dead? Julian Prince is out of it!
Julian Prince! Banana up to the line, though. Up to P5! Wow!
Nice.
Good improvement there for Banana. Glitch 10 is not going to make it around. He's just going onto the straight and has 13 seconds, and I think he's trying to overtake one of the McLarens. So, if he's not on a lap... Yeah.
Just ask Ryan. Well, I kind of... We need to know your times to make sure that it is right. Lawrence for Paul! A 30.3. Glitch 10 is finished. Ratty next turn towards the line. He did a new pole time. No, he lost out. He was almost up on the Delta, but I don't think he had the battery to burn that one. What about Cooper fan? He's just almost clattered the wall coming out of turn 12. He's a 10th up coming down into Sector 2, but is he going to keep that 10th? Is he going to gain any more? Could Cooper Fan be the one for Paul here? He needs to gain just over a 10th and a half to have any sort of chances on that, and he was just under a 10th point, what is it, 118, I think? 118, 118. But if he comes around 14 and around 15, looking good towards 16, not too unsettled, not wobbly, flat to the floor, burn what left of the battery you've got. Is this Paul? Could we see the kick salver to the top? Around 17 we go, hits the line, just falls short.
We've still got Hako and Boss Moss to complete lap, so we could see a miracle from them. Hako up to P8, and Boss Moss will be the last car over the line. Gets up to P6, so a good lap in the end from the boss of the Moss. But yeah, that is qualifying done. Banana has already set their final lap. P8 in the end for him, but Lawrence on pole for the second week in a row.
Lawrence, that's 2 poles, one after another, back to back, you could say, but hasn't been able to convert that into a victory yet. Last weekend in Bahrain was not able to make, or a podium, was not able to score a podium from that. Bit of a disaster race for Lawrence Patton, but he's back on top on pole position and hopefully a bit more prepared to get going here for round 2 and take that victory that he so rightfully his, being the fastest driver out there on the track. But it isn't without a challenge from the McLaren as it was last week. Ratty took P2 last week in the Grand Prix. I can't remember it qualifying, but he lines up P2 here in qualifying to challenge once again for another podium. Glitch 10 in 3rd, Cooper 4th, Aiden Evans in 5th, Boss Moss in 6th, Jay Ghost, Banana, Hako and Max Law doing your top 10. Just out of it, Hilly, PW Jones, LR Luke, Julian Prince and Barron. And if we get 3 more drivers from there, they will be placed at the bottom of the grid in according order. First in the lobby will be 16, 17 and 18 as they go.
Yeah, now time for the fun part of the race, which
Absolutely.
is the carnage. And the initial forecast for this race was actually wet, or it was going to get wet. I hope we can see a similar one in the actual race, because that will certainly spice things up. I don't think Vegas is a very wet track a lot of the time, so it's normally just cold.
Well, we do have dynamic weather, so when we go through our lobby restart, it stays dynamic. Now, for any means there is a lobby restart, a little bit on the rules here. If any means there's a lobby restart, then it would be set to the weather of the first race that was started. It doesn't go back to dynamic. It gets set to what was originally set in the first race. And here goes everybody to DNF and hit the wall. There goes Jagos. Glitched on Lawrence.
Oh my word. I think Barron just had one of the best crashes I've ever seen.
Ratty's in the wall.
Managed.
Glitch 10's probably going to go straight on here. No, stop driving. Well, who was that? That was Lawrence.
Somehow Lawrence survived.
Lawrence did survive. Glitched, stop being jarring. Like
Cooper, take him out.
No, they do this purposely so they can practice for a race start because they feel like it will benefit them.
Just penalise it.
I'm at a point where I'm going to start penalising it. If you don't insta-retire or insta-crash, like, I'm going to be real, you're going to get penalised.
Oh!
Because you feel entitled to run an opening lap to get a feel for a race start. Well, you don't get granted that in a GP, so retire.
Yeah.
Stop running a race start because you feel entitled to practice. You should have practiced beforehand. I'm gonna be real.
I saw it's like a league I used to participate in. When they did restarts like this, you had to retire by turn 1.
Yeah, you're not entitled to run a practice start. Don't feel like you are.
If you didn't, you got a 10-second penalty and a quali ban.
Just retire. Just hit the wall or retire. Like, it's a restart. You're gonna have your race. Like, it's just adding time for unnecessary means. But we are coming back to the commentators' booth, and we'll have a quick little chat about the standings, the constructors, and a little bit about the calendar. So before we go any further, you can take a look at what tracks are yet to come your way for season 4 as we get going here for round 2. Las Vegas before we head over round 3 into Brazil. A beautiful track for racing. It certainly has some great overtaking opportunities and photo finishes like you could potentially see here in Las Vegas before we get ourselves over to Imola, that was known for questionable track limits, Ryan. I think you remember 24. It was
Yeah.
dreadful to drive for its track limits, but coming into the 25 game cycle, improvement on the track, improvement on the limits, and we are bringing it into the season for a Grand Prix. We tried, but the limits were bad in the past. Before we head over to Austria, now this is standard format because we do have a reverse track in the calendar. We'll get to that in a moment, but we are again going over to Spielberg and then back to the USA for Miami Grand Prix. We've got a bit of a USA dominated season here in season 4. A bit unknown, not like what you've seen in the past, and then on to Singapore for round 7. Then we have the reversed format. So you're driving in reverse track. I don't know how else to explain it. You can't say reverse grid because reverse grid has a totally different meaning. So
You drive you drive the track the wrong way, but it's the right way.
yes, yeah, that's what I mean. You're driving in reverse, basically. Yeah, not in reverse gear. See,
No,
there's no logical way to explain what you're going to do.
no, right, right. You drive the track in the opposite way to any normal person.
Yeah, yeah. Before we go back to the USA for the final time in Austin, Texas. Then off to Spain, which was another scene of controversy in F1 24. Final turn, the penultimate turn, sorry, I had a nasty little bump. So we said?
Yeah. The bump.
Yeah, the bump, yeah. Had a nasty, nasty bump in Barcelona, Spain. And then over to Australia. And then finishing off Abu Dhabi, like has been seen for the past few years in the real life Grand Prix, finishing off over in Yas Marina. I quite like the circuit personally, but it's become a bit repetitive for watching now as a season finale, I've got to say.
I mean, most seasons it has kind of been a bit of a boring back end.
Yeah.
I mean, even last year after the lap 1 carnage, and then I think the only other thing that happened was Bottas wiping out Magnussen. That was it. But
Yeah.
23, I can't even remember.
Oh, I don't even think of 23, put it that way. We'll go on to the driver's standings now. As you can see, it was that McLaren 1-2 last week. Marius Anderson and Rai taking a favoured victory. Glitch 10 got the final podium before we go to Hacko for P4 in his Mercedes. And Lawrence Patton, two-time pole sitter now, but as you can see, was not able to get a victory last time out or even a podium. Maybe round 2 is his chance to pull that out, lined up just ahead of his Haas teammate, Jay Goss in 7th. PW Jones in 8th, Cooper Than in 9th, and then Junie, who's not here. Is he here today? Don't see him though. I haven't seen him on the grid. I'm not seeing any Red Bulls running out on the grid tonight, so they're going to lose massive points. Byron in his V cab in 11th. Mariam Jonas, the other Red Bull, also not here tonight, as well as K Jaw. He's not driving here tonight either, which is a bit unfortunate. He was very, very fast out in Bahrain, was looking like one of the drivers to contend for the victory, but in the end, it was not to be. Hilly, Julian Prince, Super Striker 9, Banana, Yanis, Aiden and Dak to finish off your drivers' standings. Before we go on to the constructors, and then this lobby restart will be well and truly almost underway as the grid is set. We have McLaren lining up on the top spot with that 1-2 finish, taking a massive points jump when it's needed the most, followed by the Ferraris, Haas, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Alpine, Kick Sauber, the Red Bulls only on 1 point, and yet to score points are the V-Cabs and the Williams team. Unfortunate for them, but yeah, what can you do? It's only round 1. It's only round 1.
Yeah, there's what 14 rounds more to go. Is it 15 total? I think.
Oh, can't remember. I've literally just called out all the tracks and I don't even remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we have a longer season here in season 4 than we've ever had. So that's something that you may notice. The first few seasons have been 12 rounds. First 3 seasons. Now we have a bit of a longer season going into season 4, into the new game. The season has started a lot quicker.
Oh no, it's 12.
Is it 12? Is it still 12?
Ricky just put in chat 12.
No mind, it's still 12 then. It's me talking
Oh,
Macca. It's me talking Macca trying to cover myself because I didn't count
we're
how many
just
track
chatting
names I just
absolute
said.
bollocks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, well, yeah, they've got another 11 races to score some points. So I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, it's not well, it's not over yet at all. Everybody's still in it.
Yeah, it's early
Ah,
days, early days. McLaren have had a good start though. They've done well, they're truly ahead. But having two drivers on a team, if somebody else gets a 1-2, then you know it's immediately jumped. So the options are still there. The doors are still always open, and yeah, it's going to get interesting, Ryan.
yeah, and I think what will be interesting is this start with a double left-hander and then a double right-hander. I think carnage.
I think we saw a bit of debris yesterday, but I don't know. I'm holding high hopes for the Division One boys, but we are trackside, so I'm going to take us over there now. And Ryan, it's your turn to take us away with the race start, my friend.
Ah, okay. Yeah, just the painful way. They need to give the spectators a countdown as well, but yeah,
Yeah, I
I
fully
mean, I
agree.
think we could very much see, as I mentioned, contact at turn one. Maybe not as bad as in 2023, but certainly I'm expecting debris, especially by turn five, because that's where it's a relatively wide straight, wide for a street circuit at least, but then it bottlenecks into a really tight right-hander. So I, it's hard to call, and I think we'll be very lucky if everybody gets away scot-free.
Yeah, what has been interesting for me when I've done practice laps here in Vegas is when I'm coming down into turn 3 and 4, coming around the right handers, it's very easy to understeer out there. You want to try and keep your foot flat, but you kind of can't. You've got to do a slight lift just to maintain the rotation. It's something that I keep struggling with is understeer out of turns 3 and 4. Well, I'm trying to keep my foot pinned, but it's just not gripping. You know,
And the
it's.
opposite, I'm struggling with oversteer in 3 and 4. So
Mm.
uh, trying to keep my foot pinned, but the rear is just penduluming around. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. And the Las Vegas Grand Prix is underway. Lawrence looks to have gotten a good start there. He's going to try and cover off Ratty, and yes, he managed to do so. Ratty locking the rears a bit there. Contact with Glitch 10. Cooper fan managing to make his way through up into P3 at the minute, side by side. Through turns 3 and 4 now. Swapping across the front nose of that Ferrari. Trying to get through. We've got an Alpine off at the back. That's PW Jones. But we've got Glitch 10 trying to go round the outside into turn 5. Does he back out of it? Yes, he does. We've got the two Mercedes fighting with Max Law, the reserve in the McLaren. That's Baron losing the rear end at the back end of the pack. But Lawrence looks to have gotten a good start yet again here. And is managing to extend his lead out front. He's got a half a second at the minute. But Ratty is just about holding on and will get the mega slipstream down the main straight. And I think Max Law was trying to pull out of Banana slipstream there and maybe launch a move into turn 12. We could see a move coming here. But no, everybody's sensible. Oh, contact! And that is damage for Hako, who loses a front wing end plate, hitting the back of Max Law into turn 12.
Yeah, that's disastrous start there for Hako, already picking up damage, but I don't know if that's too much damage. One end plate, maybe two end plates. What's it looking like on that Aston Martin? I think he's lost both and he's just lost the one on the left. So maybe he'll be alright with that. Still, Shoya could certainly keep that car going at a competitive pace while missing an end plate. But side by side with the Alpine and Baron, that's Hilly and Baron fighting away further down the order. Hilly maintains that position. And as we look further on to the field, drivers coming through. Lawrence is up to take the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Julian Prince is fighting hard against Hako. Hako's all over that Williams, trying to slip on through. Makes the Williams run a little bit wider than he'd like to, but that's a V-cab in the wall. That's Baron, that. He's just clipped the wall, missing his end plate. The door has been opened. Through goes Luke and through goes Jonesy.
Luke stuck his nose down the inside through turn 2, and I don't really think there was a gap. But Baron's closed the door and unfortunately just caught the front of that Sauber and been pitched into the wall. It's just slammed into the wall through turn 5 as well.
Oh, losing massive time there is Baron. He's really struggling to get the car rotated in those lower speed corners. He needs to benefit now on the high speed stuff. He's going to lack in downforce, so maybe running a little bit quicker than other drivers. It may not be a lot, but these corners are going to be heartbreak for him. Looking down now at the front of the grid as the DRS is now finally active, and this is where we should start to see some potential overtakes come your way when they get that rear wing open down this mighty long back straight in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Strip as they call it. Here goes Ratty looking for a move to take control of the Grand Prix. Is Cooper close enough to try and make himself wide in there as well? But Glitch 10 certainly going to give it a go. Side by side with the kick Sauber, forcing him a little bit wide. Cooper jumps over the apex of 15 there, barely able to keep the car under the control. As well as the kicks out of the V car behind him of Aiden Evans. They're struggling there through Sector 3 to keep the car going in a straight line. Glitch takes another P3 position. Is it to be another P3 podium for Glitch 10 at the end of this race? We'll wait to find out. We've got 22 laps to go.
Yeah, Ratty though, a crucial move in this race. I'm just having a look at the tyres at the minute, and he's on the mediums compared to Lawrence's hards. So it's an important move for him, as we have got Boss Moss going for the move on Jay Ghosts, and Ghosts, I think quite smartly, just backs out of it, not going to risk it. Going into turn 5, it's just not worth it this early in the race.
No, absolutely not. No, I've got to say, PW Jones, although he had that moment off the race start, he's in that DRS train. And it is a DRS train all the way down to P14. It's Baron who's suffering with that wing damage and has lost that rear wing ability. And now needs to try and either box for strategy to claw it back, undercut potentially beyond the cards. We saw a Mercedes box 4 laps earlier than expected and had a 5-second advantage in the end. But what are the tyres going to be like towards the end of the stint?
I mean, it's Vegas, it's night. I'm assuming it's a rather cold track condition, so maybe the tyre wear won't be too bad around this circuit. But it certainly looks like Lawrence, he's not managed to gain the time on Ratty that he needed to. So maybe Ratty running more straight line speed, having lower wings, and Aiden Evans nearly has a big moment through turn 15, the rear just stepping out on the exit of 14, and did very well to hold that in place there. But Ratty still holds firm at the front of the field. We have got Banana having a look on Max Law. They go side by side now through turn 2 and into 3 and 4. Banana potentially going to go for a switchback play. It's one of the longest switchbacks on any circuit in F1. But I think Banana is just going to pull ahead now and up into P8, getting ahead of the McLaren. And now on the back of the Haas in front. Oh!
Max Law!
Turn 5!
Max Law got a bit too hungry on the throttle there. He's lit up the rear tyres. He's clattered the wall. He's done very well to keep that car alive and not lose his suspension on the right-hand side. It's just wing damage, but that wing damage has cost him so many positions, and he's going to drop massive time here. He's got a dramatically damaged wing. It's not just an end plate. There are vital pieces, vital components of that wing missing completely. He is lacking massive downforce. Look at that,
oh,
there.
Hacker's gone off. Hacker's gone off in the escape road at turn 12 there. And Max pulling to the right-hand side, trying to let everybody through, prevent there from being, you know, like a bottleneck and people getting sandwiched in. But I don't think he's going to fight for any of these positions. I think he is letting PW Jones through as well now.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get back to the box.
Oh! And that is, believe it or not, one of the riskiest moves Jonesy's ever done, I think.
Oh my word. Hey, elbows out, mate. I'm all for it. The Welshman's going for it.
Luckily, everybody's still in this. Hacko's done very well to not get any more damage. Obviously, already lost an end plate, but managed to keep it alive through turn 12 despite going deep. Glitch 10 has gotten up into P2 as well. It was a DRS pass down the Las Vegas Strip. But maybe not perpetually P3 then, but yeah.
I wonder when these drivers are going to think about boxing. We have a mix in the grid here. Now, majority drivers yesterday went for the medium compound tyre. We saw one Brave Soul, or I think 2 Brave Souls on the softs, and then 2 drivers on the hards. Which didn't work out starting on the hards in the end. I think Poocher had lost massive time compared to those medium runners off the start. But I think medium to hard is the optimum strategy here. It seemed to be the... Oh! Is that a kick Sauber in the wall? Is that
Baron.
Luke?
Baron.
Was that Baron?
Baron cut
No,
off at 5, if that's what you mean.
no. I saw Kick
But,
Sauber very, very close to hitting a wall there. I think he had to take runoff. I think that was Luke taking runoff. I'm
I
going to
guess,
be
well,
honest.
he's gonna be under pressure now from Hilly into turn 14. He's gonna try and fight it. There's not much he can do. And oh, Hilly gets a very poor line through the chicane, and Luke is gonna get his way back through ahead of the Alpine. We've got 4 of last season's tier 2 drivers all fighting now for P10. And Jonesy's managed to get ahead of Hilly now. Is he going to go for a move on Luke? Oh, it looked like he had a look down the inside there. But I think just losing the rear a bit on the entry and had to back out. But Jonesy and Hilly fighting amongst themselves rather than against Luke.
Well, Jones has got very good racing etiquette. He's patient. He can wait. As you know, previous teammate with yourself. He is a very patient man, that I can say. But if the door's there, he'll get his elbows out. Best believe it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was never quick enough to actually race him. But Baron retires in the pits. But yeah, he's just... his patience is remarkable. Even when fighting for the title last season and when Luke got put in the wall and everything in Saudi. Just the patience Jonesy had was impeccable. And then
He's
again,
literally
when
like Piastri. He wins races, he's just dead chill. He's like, yeah, good race that. Yeah, great result for the team. Just so
however,
nonchalant.
Glitch 10 up into the lead with the DRS pass. So, ahead down the straight. And Ferrari leading in Las Vegas. And the question is, can anybody mount a proper challenge and give us a really good fight, maybe? I mean, Vegas isn't the best track for constant side-by-side action due to the nature of the corners and just the track temperature. But maybe Ratty can go for a move. Baron has left the session. I know, I think in chat he said, can I just be tier 2? So... yeah, not having the best time of it. It looks like the Mercedes is stuck in the midfield now.
Yeah, they're both running hard compound tyres. They don't want to be next to each other. It's not going to be good in terms of strategy. One's going to go for one lap earlier, then undercut, and they want to be together, really. They want to try and stay together so they can work together and climb through this field. But it's just a DRS train for them. Ghost has dropped DRS. Speaking on that, he's 1 second behind there. Has he had a moment? Or is he just running a little bit slower than the rest, struggling with tyre woes potentially? We are running 6 laps on these medium compounded tyres now, and we did start to see, for example, yesterday's Mercedes driver box on lap 6 or 7, 4 laps earlier than expected, and managed to get a 5 second undercut. Now, we saw the pit stop come about 10. Or 11, I think, was the furthest somebody went, was lap 11 on mediums. So we've still got a few laps to go before they start thinking about boxing, as Luke makes a pass on PW Jones there. Very easy done with the DRS, and Jonesy not being able to defend it without DRS.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed as well is that Haas have split the strategies. So I think Ricky did mention it to them, didn't he? That, oh, should probably split the strategies. And Julian's already in.
There you go. Right, undercut potentiality. This could be... He's got mediums! He's two-stopping! He's doing...
Medium stop?
He's doing what? He's doing what?
Oh, no. I know exactly what's happened. He's got wing damage and it's not changed his wing. He's missing the front right. So he thought, oh, I've got the wing damage. I'll repair it and go on the mediums to gain back as much time as possible as quickly as can. But, I mean, end plate damage doesn't always fix if you don't change it off of auto. So I reckon that's what's happened there. Promotes PW Jones up into the points, at least for now.
I was just absolutely flabbergasted. I was about to say there's not enough corners here. Not enough slow speed corners here to gain back any time. Like that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And plus with the DRS.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
By dropping out of the train, despite going on new tyres, you actually lose more time at this stage.
Yeah. A two-stop is never happening here. That happened before. Like they will just reduce pace and make tires last. They'll never two-stop. It will not be effective.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough slow speed corners to gain back the time you would need.
Yeah. The fight at the front is getting a bit stale now. It seems Luke is into the pits as well. So also with a broken wing.
Julian French to clip the wall again on that right hand side.
So we'll see. Is there a wing change for the kick car? No. I guess that shows how little downforce is needed around here. If they're still competitive, even with no wing damage, as he actually has gone for the hard, so...
Yeah, he's going to the end.
Come out 7 seconds behind Julian, roughly.
He's trying to undercut. Now, he didn't want to do it 4 laps earlier, like mentioned from one of the Mercedes drivers yesterday. He's done it 2 laps earlier, has Luke. 3 laps, yeah, if you'd like to include it. Who was that?
Oh! Banana!
Yeah, I saw that. Any damage,
I think he's got away with it. I think he just clipped his right rear on the wall, and because of, well, in actual F1, that would be critical. Ratty going for the move, sorry. But into turn 14, Ratty's ahead and back into the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. But yeah, as I was saying, in real life, clipping the wall even slightly with your rear tyres is game over, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Very lucky.
Hit the wall, gearbox damaged.
Not necessarily, but also just the suspension.
You can get away with bumper barging, but if you clatter just one of the wheels hard enough, you'll damage the gearbox
Glitch
as
10!
well. What's it?
Glitch 10's gone miles off the road at turn 1, and Lawrence and Aiden Evans is up to P3. Where's he come from? I'll tell you, 5th. So, not that far, actually. It started 5th. But I don't know what happened to Glitch 10 there.
Jago's got to position as well, being in the pits. He's gone for a lap 10
Oh,
box.
hang on. The undercut from Luke has actually proved very good. He's gained about 5 seconds already. So, because Luke was in the train with Jonesy, Hacko and Hilly, and Ghost was at the back of Banana's train. So, the undercut definitely extremely powerful here.
Yeah,
just keeping an eye through turn 12.
Yeah.
Everything looks to have got through cleanly.
The Mercedes did it yesterday. It was the only EGC. He boxed like lap 6, I'm sure of it. And in the end, he was at the front by 5 seconds. But he did
Sorry, Corey. Oh, the Racing Bulls of Aiden did pull to the inside there of Lawrence. Lawrence loses the rear, and this could see the Racing Bulls through, but actually no. Through comes Glitched Hen now. And I think we could see... No pit stops yet from the lead pack. But a mistake there from Lawrence, which led to Aiden losing the position to Glitched Hen.
There's a huge snap on the front end there from Glitched Hen. He maybe locked the brakes and had to really force the car back around to the left. That's unfortunate for Jonesy. 10-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane, but he can serve that. So if there was a safety car, he can potentially get away with that. But didn't see a safety car yesterday. I don't know if we'll see one today. We'll just wait to find out. We'll get going on lap 11 now, going into sector 2 with these front runners that are starting to close up to each other and get mighty close to overtaking each other. Banana has also caught himself back up into this fight with his teammate Boss Moss here. So now the Mercedes are well and truly in this fight.
I think Bahrain might have spoilt us a bit with an absolute banger of a season opener, and now we expect that again. But this is still a good race that we've got on our hands, maybe more on the strategy side, as Jay Ghost's undercut was not nearly as powerful as Luke's, and actually the group of Hacko, Jonesy are coming out around Jay Ghost now, which was about a 6-second gap before they all started pitting.
Yeah, he
Lawrence gonna go for a move around the outside of Ratty into turn 14. Ratty's gone deep. Can Lawrence get a switch back out of here somewhere? Ratty losing the rear end. Is he going to come into the box anytime soon? No. pushing on towards lap 12 now on the mediums.
This is brave. This is very, very brave. But I guess if Ratty can stay, though, with hard runners, the longer he can go, the better his hards are going to be at the end of his second stint. This is good strategy from Ratty. If he can stay, though, and not get a puncture, not get damaged, just stay within the fight with the front runners, he's in a good spot. He can just extend, and then he'll have the hards for longer. This is beautiful for the McLaren driver. And he did get that P2 with his teammate last week. So what is to happen here in round 2? The McLaren's going to be dominant here. And we're going to see a realistic 25 season going into season 4.
Well, no, because we've currently got a Haas leading.
That's just Lawrence.
All credit to Ocon and Behrman. That's not happening.
I think if you put Lawrence actually in a Haas, he'd do that.
I prefer not to speak.
His neck will snap halfway around the first lap, though.
I think that's the case for all of us.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Oh my god, the G-forces.
It's bad enough for me in a go-kart, where Glitched Hen is actually going to get ahead of Ratty now, who, let's be honest, needs to pit. He's just losing time, he's losing tyre grip, and I think Bosmos might have just clouted the ball, or he was at least very close. And yeah, into the pits comes Ratty along with Aiden Evans. Brake early, don't get the speeding penalty. Ooh, just safe. It did look a bit close for comfort.
Still on board with Glitched Hen here as the front runners. Those Mercedes boys still looking to close up a little bit. They're all on hards now, I think. So things are going to get interesting now. Ratty and Aiden are going to come out fresh, hard compound the tyres. And what sort of
behind
time have they lost? Oh my god, they have. Cooper's pulled a blinder.
So Cooper's in the net lead of the race. Luke has retired in the pit lane. So unfortunate there for Cooper's teammate. And that's Aiden Evans getting past Julian Prince.
Yeah, easy done with DRS. Easy done. Oh, Julian all over the place. He's got front wing damage though. Let's not forget that. He's missing that front right end plate.
Yeah. And Ghosts is just trying to keep ahead of Max Law here. I think Max on much older hards had to pit at the end of lap 1 or 2. Or at least in the first fifth of the race. And yeah, he's going to have to stop again as Glitched Hen uses the DRS to retake the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. But they are losing buckets of time now to Cooper Fan, who was 17 seconds back at the start of lap 12 and on to start of lap 14. It's now 15. As Ratty actually makes the move to get ahead of Cooper Fan. Max Law and PW Jones going side by side as well further down the straight. Is Jonesy able to get ahead? Yes, he is. Up into P11.
Beautiful, easy overtake. So see that DRS straight, it helps you so much. But this could be a battle of attrition all the way down to the last lap. We saw almost a photo finish yesterday, Ryan. Be prepared for what could be another photo finish here tonight. Get your camera ready to see who takes the victory, because the DRS games are real here.
I'm just trying to think, has Ratty won a race before in Tier 1?
I don't know. I think he scored podiums, and that's like P2 career best. Like, that's all. I don't think he's took a victory though. Maybe in an earlier season. I can't remember that far back. The seasons I do remember. Season 1, because that was an absolute banger. I remember bits of Season 3, and then obviously we're here now.
And Season 2's just gone?
Not so much gone. I think it was like there was a lot of trial and error. So we was constantly changing things in Season 2. There was constant, like, we're going to try this, we're going to change this. A lot of mid-season changes. So it was, I never settled into it and learned the routine. So I think I just forgot a lot of what happened.
Yeah, and all that trial and error has got us to here. Cooper Fan making the move on Ratty. Lawrence did retake the lead of the Grand Prix, and Banana is entering the pit lane now to fit, I assume, the mediums. any sensible person goes onto the mediums. Yeah, let's see. Mediums.
10 laps, certainly possible. Now there goes Cooper with that undercut, as well as Ratty following him through. Now question is, how much time
Oh,
has he actually lost out? He's lost out to Aiden as well, Julian Prince. Is it to be for
maybe?
Julian Prince? It's getting close. No,
No.
not to
I think
be.
he's just safe. Yeah, you need to be really close down this straight between turns 4 and 5 in order to mount any sort of challenge. But oh, Lawrence, big slide, and that's going to have cost him time. Could see him under pressure from glitched hen, potentially even before the DRS zone now. But going through turn 9, losing the rear, how I anticipated Baron would have done. But this is going to be a brilliant undercut for Cooper Fan Ratty and even Aiden Evans here. As
That's what they want. That's what they're aiming for.
Yeah, are we going to see another change of the lead down the Las Vegas Strip? I think we are. Here comes Glitched Hen now. No, closes the DRS early and sits behind the Haas. Who doesn't sit behind, though, is Ratty, who gets ahead of Cooper Fan up into P4. And yeah, they're all coming in now, the front three. The last three to pit in this race. All into the box now, and they've all managed to get in cleanly. But can Lawrence come out ahead, crucially, of Ratty and Cooper? No, miles behind. Look how far back they are, Corey.
Oh my word, they have lost dramatic time here. That undercut has proved vital for Ratty, Cooper and Aiden, boxing when they needed to. Even Aiden has managed to get ahead of them, but Banana is right on the cusp behind him. They've still got 1.0 seconds to Banana. 1.7 seconds to Banana now.
Yeah, and Aiden Evans is going to act as a bit of a bottleneck here for Ratty and Cooper, a bit like Gasly to Hulkenberg at Silverstone. And it's going to take a lot of pace for Banana, Lawrence, Hen, or Bossmos to catch the guys at the front now. And it is looking extremely good for Ratty, as even if he finishes second, he is guaranteed to retain the lead of the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, of course, with Marius Anderson not racing tonight, and those behind, Glitched Hen, for example, being down in 6th position.
Unless Glitched Hen wins.
Yeah, Glitched Hen is the denominator, that's what I was saying there. Glitched Hen's down in 6th, he's the denominator here for the lead of the championship, and with Glitched Hen being in 6th position, he's not getting the points to pull that back.
And Aiden Evans can't really defend from Banana down the straight, at least not without some extremely dodgy driving. But Banana now up into P3 and wants to win once more here.
Yeah. Can he chase down that 3-second gap and make it DRS available, as he's got Aiden and Lawrence now starting to close up and breathe down his neck?
Got Poochie Head suggesting that they should have gone for the softs instead of the mediums, and that the mediums just didn't bite. And to be fair, this circuit, the softs could go that one. We've got a yellow flag. That is Julian Prince, who has had a spin on the entry to turn 15 and manages to get going again.
A little bit slower this one in comparison to yesterday, but I think they're just trying to play it safe and survive. And, you know, these drivers are driving a lot faster than Division 2 in that essence. They are quicker drivers, hence why they have separate tiers. And the drivers you see yesterday are not here today for obvious reasons. Maybe they're just playing a little bit safe. Waiting for the final laps,
Aiden
3 seconds for Aiden.
Yeah, he got a track limits on the inside of turn 12. Which is, you know, you see something new every now and again, and you just wonder, how has somebody actually managed that?
I think he may have been trying to cut it like the esports line. If you you sort of can cut that corner if you jump over the apex in a way, but you've got to have the angle perfect.
I mean, he lost the rear, and if Lawrence didn't back out, that would have probably been both of them out of the race. So experimenting in the race, probably not the best idea for Evans, but
I wonder, what's the weather like?
I don't know.
Expecting dries all the way through. Is there a spot of weather on the way? There was expected rain yesterday and it never came. I don't know what it's like today, but again, it didn't come yesterday, so I used to say it could come today. The front, though, still bridged a 3-second gap of sitting very comfortably ahead. I think Cooper is favoured to win this. He's right on the tail of Rai. He's right in prime position. If he stays there and doesn't do any overtakes and just recharges the battery, runs the next 7 laps, on the final lap, that DRS, he's got it.
Yeah, I mean, he is losing a bit of margin through the middle sector, and also these medium runners are actually gaining a bit quicker than we expected, as Max Law is in the runoff at turn 5, so a bit of a struggle for Max, as just checking the penalties, it's 3 seconds for Aiden, 3 for Hilly, and 10 for Jonesy. So if Jonesy can gain another second on Hilly, he gets in the points for the second week running here in Tier 1. But Lawrence going for the move on Banana. And I think now probably going to be in a great position to chase after Ratty and Cooper. So it's very much not over yet. And if these guys, I mean, we've got a massive train from Lawrence down to Boss Moss here, all chasing after the top 2 drivers on the track at the minute.
Though they are within sight, Lawrence can see them when he gets around turn 4 here. There they are within his sight. It's not a big gap. He knows that he could potentially pull this one off, so we'll just wait to see and find out how things go.
Yeah, multiple cars hitting the wall on the exit of turn 5 there. But the mediums are gaining decent amounts here. The only issue for the medium runners is they don't gain down the straights, because Cooper closes up to Ratty, and the leader of the mediums train, or I guess the undercut train, doesn't gain. And it requires a car behind to overtake. No matter whether or not the car ahead is faster.
He's gaining time,
Saying that, the gaps have massively opened up in this pack now. We could see Glitch 10 going for a move on Aiden Evans here. But into the chicane now. Glitch 10 pulls to the inside. Is going to go for the move on the Racing Bulls car. Manages to get ahead and up into P5. And no time penalty this week for Glitch 10, so it's not looking terrible. Lawrence has lost half a second between turn 12 and now. So I think what I was saying about the straight is right. It's all big slide there for Banana. And Glitch 10 with the DRS. I have a feeling Hen is going to try and get past Banana here. He's definitely, at least it seems, the faster driver. But
Lawrence dropped time though. I think Lawrence is going to struggle here now to pull that back with 5 laps. He was at 2.3 away. It's now 2.6. It was 2.7. I don't know if he's going to do this.
He gained so much between turns 5 and 12, though. Like, he's already got it back down to 2.4, 2.3-ish. So...
can't afford any more moments.
That's the thing. He's not been having many. So, he's not been doing much wrong, and he's still not gaining. It's Banana that's been having the moments. And saying that, Banana almost in the wall there. And that is going to allow Glitch 10 to go for the move now. But, crucially, Glitch 10 pulls ahead before the DRS. Which actually means that both drivers get the DRS down the straight now. And Boss Moss also ahead of Banana. And I think Aiden Evans is not going to be able to make many inroads on this train. Julian Prince has spun through turn 8. And it's weirdly calm, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's very peaceful. Nobody's being ultra aggressive. The closest drivers we could see on the field at that moment then into turn 1 was the 2 Mercedes in terms of time. There were 2 tenths separated. Everybody's just getting themselves ready. 4 laps to go though, so they're getting ready. They're recharging the battery. They're making the final pushes.
It's an odd one to commentate on because there's not enough happening to keep us constantly talking, but also everything could happen. So
I mean,
Glitch
I
10.
quite favour Boss Moss for taking a move on Glitch 10 at last minute, potentially challenging Lawrence. Maybe even
Oh, Boss
Banana.
Moss. Yeah, I thought you meant, yeah.
Yeah, no, Boss Moss,
Once
yeah.
again, yeah, once again mixing up Boss Moss and Cooper fan. I
Yeah,
keep
no.
on doing that.
No, yeah, I know Cooper fans, I know what Cooper fans doing. Cooper sat there in position, he's waiting behind Ratty, like I said, he's not even making overtakes. He's just keeping his battery at 100%, and then when he needs to overtake, he'll do it on the final lap. The gap isn't coming down to Lawrence. Lawrence isn't gaining, like, he's not losing mass time. Cooper's under no threat.
Well,
Cooper has got this in the bag.
Glitch 10. Well, I guess it's his turn to see if he can pose a threat, isn't it?
Certainly is. He's just slipped on through as well, hasn't he? So maybe for Glitch 10.
Oh, wait. Cooper's made a mistake.
Oh, he has!
Look at the gaps.
Oh, no!
You've jinxed him! You've jinxed him, man!
Commentator's curse, he's got damage and everything. It's over for Coop. Sorry, lad.
Massive damage.
Massive damage,
he's
yeah.
Clearly he's hit the inside left of 15 and then hit the wall on the exit of... inside left of 16 and then hit the wall on the exit. He's been a Colapinto, hasn't he?
He's just ping-ponged. Left, right, left. Oh, sorry, right, left, right, yeah.
All over for the Sauber man. But that's so unfortunate.
I don't think he's going to defend too hard here. That is unfortunate. I fully commentators cursed him, and do you know what? I'm not even that bothered. Have it, Cooper. Sorry, but me and Cooper, we know each other. It's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say as well that what Cooper was doing by sitting behind, if I was to name it, I probably wouldn't be allowed to do the comms again. Post your TT times? Well, maybe I'll be commentating over you next week. Go for twice a week. Oh, contact! Lawrence and Boss Moss! Boss Moss trying to squeeze his way through. And Glitch 10 now gets up into P2. I imagine Cooper's probably going to stay out. There's no point pitting. There's going to be, what, 3 laps to go?
Yeah, he's not going to gain anything. He's going to lose everything in down outside of the points. At least here, he has a chance to try and fight and maintain position, lacking all that downforce. Although he doesn't look to be struggling too much, he's still doing fairly well, but he suffered a huge time loss to Ratty. Further extends Ratty's lead and secures that victory for Ratty, although it looks so good for Cooper fan.
Indeed it does, and I think Ratty, he just needs to control it and not do what Cooper did and crack it into a wall.
Lawrence is now looking at challenging.
You think this is chaos, Gopher? Do you think this is chaos? You should have seen last week. That was incredible. And oh, Cooper goes very deep. And Lawrence might just be able to squeeze through here. I think Cooper can't fight it, can he?
No, he's lacking downforce. He may get the traction here though. Is he side by side? No, he falls back in line. Lawrence saw the open door, was just like, yep, thanks, mate.
Boss Moss potentially going to try and make a move on Cooper now. And Cooper managing to keep this going somehow. He's managed to get the car turned in for 12 whilst not losing much time.
Tell you what, Glitch is flying. He's pulled 2 seconds away from Lawrence. That's crazy.
I mean, that's because of Cooper.
Yeah,
Cooper was just bottlenecking.
Oh my god, 3 wide coming down the Las Vegas Strip, potentially 4 wide. Oh my contact, Cooper's off, and he's taken Boss Moss with him. There was a tyre hook, and Cooper gets sent sideways into the wall. The Mercedes goes with, and here we see a side-by-side for Aiden and Banana, but Aiden falls back in line. That was inevitable. Cooper doing the best that he could to defend his ever-falling position with damage. That was bound to happen, Ryan.
At the end of the day, the baseline is that was moving under braking from Cooper. He was moving right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Boss Moss just a passenger then. Luckily, not lost too many positions It's 4 points at the end of the day that he's lost based on where he was at the time of the accident. But I think they're lucky that Ghost was so far back in comparison. But this puts Banana firmly in the fight for P3 here. So...
He's looking good. He is looking good. He's mighty close enough to, with the DRS, make a move. We are on the penultimate lap. Wait, Ratty?
Ratty?
He's had a moment. He's lost time.
I think that's just pace. Is it not?
I don't know. He looked
Oh!
wide on the track map.
Oh, this is going to be a messy one down the straight now. 3 wide once again here in Las Vegas. Banana up into P3. Aiden Evan in P3 now as well. And into the braking zone. Lawrence down the inside of Banana. Side by side they go. Through the chicane. Contact between the two of them. Is there going to be more as they now head towards the start-finish line? Banana in the slipstream of the Haas. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1?
Oh,
If they keep fighting like this, they're going to lose the time. And they're going to lose out to Aiden Evans. There's a 3-second gap, 3-second time penalty at the minute for Aiden Evans. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But there is more drama yet to come in this race, Corey.
Max Law, what are you doing? Get back to racing speed. One warning.
He's got a puncture, hasn't he?
No.
No? No.
Guy's driving unnecessarily
he heard you.
slowly. He did hear me. It's the only warning he's getting because he was going to hinder the race there as the leaders are coming down on him. Not having that.
Yeah. You want to take us away for Ratty?
Absolutely. Right, it comes down that final straight for the last time. 25 times he's had to power down this long straight, but it's been at an absolute ease for the McLaren driver. Very, very well-run Grand Prix. Kept himself out of trouble. No damage. And absolute just prevails once again for the McLaren team. Comes around 14, 15 and 16 for the last time. Powers down towards the line for Glitch 10. It will be a P2 second podium running. But for Ratty, it's another podium. And this time, it's the top step as he wins here in Vegas with Lawrence finally from pole to podium. Banana fourth. Aiden Evans.
Like that, it seems...
He sounds bad.
You say it like that. Yeah, finally got a podium after starting from pole. It's like me in career mode. But the question is, does Jonesy hold on to this P10 ahead of Hilly? Yes, he does.
Oh, he still had that. Did he have that 10 seconds, didn't he? Yeah. Finally picks up that final points paying position, yeah.
Max Law saying his pedals were disconnecting, so...
Ah, okay, I'll accept that. If you're having tech issues, I will accept that. I didn't want you to do because you was coming around turn 12, and then here comes Ratty out of turn 9. Like, you can see my concern.
Yeah. But McLaren beginning this season in dominant form. And, well, at least for the driver that showed up both times. But, yeah, 43 points that'll be in the lead. Oh, well, 43 points and the lead. To Glitched Hen's 33. So a 10-point lead for Ratty.
Yeah, further extends the constructors as well. That should be, what, 68 points for the McLarens? And it's round 2. Round 2, 68 points out at the front already. Beautiful stuff. Lawrence Patton finishing off in third on the podiums. We will go for an interview, try and get some drivers in here, but there's your finishing 15, just falling shy of the points. Hilly, Max Law, Julian Prince, Luke and Barron. But other than that, you know the pace of these drivers, and it was a bit unexpected from PW Jones. I was expecting him to be a little bit higher, but he did say early on that he was struggling out here in Las Vegas, just not able to find any time. So that 10-second penalty as well, further hindering him, maybe just didn't know where to brake on coming into the pits. I think he just completely misjudged his entry there and brake a little bit later than he was supposed to. We are in the interview room. Any drivers, any returning drivers from season 3 and 4 know the crack as they are in the waiting room. Was Glitch 10 on the podium? He was, wasn't it? It was Ratty,
Yeah.
Glitched, and
Ratty, Glitch, and Lawrence.
absolutely. So we will get Ratty and Glitch 10 in. We will start off with your race victor, Ratty, P2 out in Bahrain, but finally managing to pull out a victory here for round 2, which you were chasing in round 1, but wasn't to be then, but it's to be now. And certainly setting McLaren off to a fantastic start, especially with your teammate Marius Anderson, who didn't show tonight, but he did get a reserve in. And it's a shame the reserve was having some technical issues, I think we saw, but again, still leading the constructors and now leading drivers champion. So, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, very good. Anderson has gone on holiday, so I said to him, my goal is to keep us in the lead of the constructors, or at least extend it a little bit. And yeah, I think I managed that. So I'm more than happy with how that race went. Don't like this track whatsoever. I don't think a lot of people do, but yeah, to come out on top there was pretty good, and it is my first league race win since like F1 22. So it's been a long
Oh,
time since I won a race in a league. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations on your first victory in a league in going on 2 years. This will be the third year running if you didn't win here today, but you have won, so
Yeah,
you can reset that timer, mate, and hopefully we'll see you back in the top spot again sometime soon. You two are a pretty good team so far, looking like you and Marius could do something when Marius does return. Is he back next round or round after?
yeah. I think he's missing next week, and he's back the week after.
Right, so when he
I
does
think.
come back for round 4, then that's the time for the McLarens to shine. But that is, again, only the first half of the season. Still a lot of rounds to go. How are you feeling about the calendar? Have you noticed anything that may take your fancy?
To be honest, these first two tracks have probably been my weakest ones. So to come out, well, actually, Brazil is probably one of my weakest tracks. But Imola, Austria, Silverstone, all decent tracks to me, especially on this game. Imola is probably one of my favourites, so I'll be looking to do well around there. Brazil, I think, is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm actually. Oh, I'm actually gonna miss Imola, which is a bit unfortunate. But uh, yeah, Spielberg then will probably be my next best chance.
No, lovely stuff. And I think it's round what 4 or 5. I think it's round 5. Spielberg. So we got Brazil,
yeah,
and then
5.
yeah, Brazil, Imola, and Spielberg, if I remember correctly. So yeah, potentially like you say as well, Imola. So round 4 and round 5 could potentially be looking good for yourself. But for now, it's a good victory, and congratulations, finally taking a league race win since F1 22. That's nice to know. That good stats, good stats.
Thank
Nice to
you,
know
thank
you've
you,
done it
thank you
here.
guys for commentating as well.
Yeah. Now, Ryan,
It's
anything
always
from
a
you,
very
mate?
nice job.
No, nothing really, other than congratulations. It was a very well run race in the end. One thing though that I do want to ask actually, with obviously Cooper found unfortunately hitting the wall, losing the basically all of his wing. Were you worried before that he would just sit behind and get you down the Vegas strip?
A little bit. Yeah, he was almost like lurking behind me for a while. I had one opportunity where I nearly dropped him, but he just snuck back in. I think it was like quite early on in that stint, and I was kind of hoping. I wasn't fully pushing to try and get away from him. I was kind of hoping that he would work with me and try and keep swapping DRS so we could pull more time on the guys behind. Um, but yeah, I think maybe he was just saving battery, hoping to find a opportune moment to go for a strike. Which is why I think I did let out a bit of a uh, yes, he's crashed or whatever when he did hit the wall. As sad as it is for him, I was like that kind of doubt of him, just flying past it in the last few laps where it kind of went out the window. So yeah, I was he was very quick, and considering he was on older tires as well, he didn't seem to be struggling as much. So he did a good job up until the unfortunate moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, again, congratulations, race victory, and hopefully we'll see you back in here again next time out in round 3. See how you get on over there. For now, 2 podiums in a row, one being a victory, so good stats to have going into season 4.
Perfect. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week.
See you next week, my friend. On to P2. Glitched Hen, second podium in a row. I think it was P3 last time out. Now a P2. So getting a little bit closer to that race victory. It's still yet to come. So how are you feeling about the rounds up to come? Are you confident in Brazil?
Is that the next track?
It is.
Oh, okay. I don't know. We'll have to see when I do some practice for it, but usually not, considering last game I wasn't. But F1 23 I was good at it, so maybe this game.
Yeah, it's a bit more like F1 23 this game. The car's got a bit more weight to it, really, compared to F1 24. Can't throw it as much as you were used to able to in 24. But how is your race in qualifying? For example, you were looking like you could have been challenging for pole, but just didn't quite get there in the end. But P2, good enough?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy with qualifying. I mean, ending up P2 in the end of that, I'm very happy with that for the points. You just got to be in it to get that drivers' championship. But yeah, I mean, quali didn't go too well because I just messed up every lap. I could have done a point zero maybe if I got the right lap.
Yeah, just unable to find it and lap it, get it all together in the sectors. Just one sector letting you down, maybe more than most. Maybe just one corner catching you off guard. But qualifying in it happens. It does happen to the best of us. But other than that, no, it was a good race. 2 podiums in a row, so setting off a season to a good start as well. P3 and a P2, but hopefully next time it will be a P1. I'll pass you on to Ryan for any questions.
Not many questions. No, I think you kind of covered it all there, Corey. But I assume, obviously, championship hopes still well and truly there. You're 10 points behind Ratty at the minute, 43 to 33. But yeah, you fancy your chances then?
I mean, I do. I think it's doable. You just got to keep getting those podiums and keep getting high point scoring. You don't have to win every race, but you can still win the championship. So, got to be there.
Yeah, good mindset. Good mindset, to be fair. He's absolutely right. Good point scoring positions. Good to see the championship as, I don't know, he could be P3 in one race and the front two fight away. They end up crashing, going off track, and he just slips on through. So, not necessarily fighting for the wins, but definitely being there at the top spot, waiting for it is a good place to be. And consistent points. All it takes is for one of your rivals have a bad race and then they lose out massive points while you're still scoring podiums. So, yeah, couldn't agree more with that. Again, congratulations, P2, and we'll see you next week for round 3 in Brazil. Finally,
Thank you.
we move on to P3, 2-time pole sitter. I've got to mention this because I need to ask you what is going on. 2-time pole sitter, but only now are you getting into the Consbooth podiums. You had a stinker last time out, but here again, not on the front of the field. What's going on there? Are you struggling under race pace?
Yeah, I think I'm just putting myself in the wrong situations and like fighting battles that I don't really need to be doing. And it's just making me lose time to the people out in front.
Do you think maybe you could potentially change that around? Because you are certainly looking to be one of the fastest drivers on the track. 2 pole positions, but again, a lot happens in racing, so it could go any direction. But again, when you normally see somebody as fast as you are, you normally get them winning races as well. But I would like to see that in the future because I want to scream, yes, Lawrence has won. I can't lie. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to scream it out. But I've got to give
hopefully I
you,
can go win.
got to give you the critics. I've got to give you the critiques because the stats don't lie. But other than that, still a podium here tonight. Early days in the championship. You feeling confident for any rounds yet to come?
I'm quite confident for the rounds upcoming. They're decent tracks for me. Just got to keep the race pace consistent. And yeah, just as long as I can start near the front, as long as I don't drop back too far, I should be able to have a chance of winning or definitely getting podiums.
Soon to be. First podium here in season 4 and returning back to League Racing as well. I know we spoke about this privately in VCs and that you've been out of the game for a while, but you come back in 25 and already looking to set some good pace down. On to Raya, any questions, my friend?
One main question relating to the crash between Boss Moss and Cooper. How crucial do you think that was to finishing on the podium in the end?
I think it saved me quite a lot because I was trying to keep them with DRS and just try to lead a bit up the back, but the crash pretty much saved me and put me in a position to make the podium, and then I just had to drive it home.
Yeah, and in the end, fighting with the RB and Banana as well. But with that crash, did it seem from your end like Cooper moved to the right, or do you think it's just unfortunate?
I think they kind of both merged into the same line, and then they kind of just locked, and then yeah, just went off. But from my point of view, it didn't look like too much of anyone's fault.
Just the unfortunate game physics.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think we can settle up there and then. That's Lauren's your P3 sitter and podium sitter as well. Hopefully, we see you on the top step next week out in Brazil. This has been a round 2. If you want to sign up, sign-ups are still open, so do not be discouraged. You could find yourself in a reserve spot, potentially see yourself on the top spot in one of the 2 fantastic races we've had here for round 2 in Las Vegas. Round 3, Brazil next week, starting on Division 2 on Tuesday before we get Division 1 back on Wednesday. See you next week, same time, same place. Should be cool.